So why is our MOTON Air Cup system more stable than any other system on the market? Let me first explain what an air cup does. So this air cup system in full assembled state looks like this. And it sits on top of your damper and it connects to an air pump, air compressor with a tank. And if you press the button, the axle lifts. So in other words, it's an air system that lifts the nose of your car. In some cases, you can add it all around and then it would lift the whole car. That being said, I want to talk to you a little bit more about why we made specific decisions. We know that a lot of competition on the market, they use steel parts, makes everything more heavy. I just want to talk about what we've done and why we have done it. So obviously everything is made in aluminum. Everything is made out of a 6000 series aluminium or aluminum. So everything is made out of aluminum, and after that we have everything anodized as well. So this is the cup itself with the top. The top closes it off with O-rings, as any other cup that would do that. But we've implemented holes with thread here that will prevent the cup from turning around. So on a lot of systems, the cup starts turning around with the filling piece over here. So if it turns around, it will pull the hose and it will disconnect it or break it, and your cup won't work anymore. So we've decided to do something else. So in this case, we have it assembled here. So this is our anti-rotating cable. We have multiple positions here that you can install it to. This goes against the original or our top mount plate, and then it protects it from turning around. There's a little bit of movement, but it will protect it from turning around and pulling the hose. Coming back to the system, so as soon as this is installed, then we have a piston. A piston moves freely inside our air cup system. So this is the piston, and it moves inside and outside. So a lot of the competition, they use an O-ring, top and bottom, and that's it, to keep the air in there, just to make sure it just moves up and down. They put a lot of grease on it, and that's it. Since we want people to enjoy the cup a little bit longer than a year or maybe a couple of years, but we want it to be long lasting, we made this piece first of all in a rebuildable piece, but also we are trying to prevent this piston from angling while it's like moving up and down, which means that we've added Teflon strips in the middle. So we've added Teflon strips both here, and which is really cool, we've made a scraper seal. So the scraper seal sits on the bottom of the piston, and it prevents dirt from coming in. It won't pollute the inside of the air cup, which means that it can always move freely up and down. So we have two O-rings, we have two Teflon strips, and we have a scraper seal to make sure that everything is super stable. Going to the next part, so on the inside where the spring normally sits against the cup, we implemented as well two anti-friction plates. So we put those on here before installing, and then the spring can also turn in here, which again prevents the whole system from turning around. So on top of the piston, as soon as you release all the pressure, this moves up and will come to the top of the air cup. Since we don't want people to hear any noises as soon as they release all the pressure, we've included the rubber ring. It's a rubber seal that sits on here, so it would prevent it from hitting steel to steel, or in this case aluminum to aluminum. Of course, we need to make sure that the piston won't come out, and that's why we have this C-clip. C-clip sits inside here, which means that also if you ever have issues with the system, you can take the C-clip out, you can disassemble everything, and you can just order all the parts separately from the factory. That's exactly why we make everything in-house, so we can be flexible and make sure that the customer experience is top-notch. So the total assembly, like I said before, looks like this. So inside has all the friction plates, outside has the anti-rotating cable, and of course the nipple where the hose connects to. Our steering bearing falls exactly in here, which means that it has a small stack height. So if you take in a generic air cup and you add it to your kit, this all stacks up to a higher stack, which means that the smallest length or the shortest length of your damper is longer, which means you will hit the bump stop a little bit sooner than you want. In this case, we only lose 15 millimeters of stroke. With all other systems, you will lose at least 20 to 30 millimeters of stroke that you will absolutely notice while driving. So if you order a kit that comes from the factory, from HQ, we will make sure that we will compensate the 15 millimeters of stroke. So we will take it off the shock body and make sure that you don't feel any difference between the system with an air cup or without an air cup. Even if you want to retrofit the system, that's absolutely possible. We will add all the parts so you can make sure that it will fit on an eye-to-eye damper or on a normal damper with the top mount. So if you order our air cup system, it's not just the air cups. It's the air cups, it's the air compressor, it's all the lines, all the hoses, all the wiring, but also a small tank that we include in the kit. The reason why we include a small tank is because we don't feel that people want to lose a lot of trunk space, and nobody is going to use the air cup every 20 seconds. So it's a smaller tank, so it saves a lot more space. It's lighter. You can use it in your race car, you can use it in your daily car. It's a universal product that you can use on our MOTON dampers. So I want to thank you for watching this explanation about our air cup system. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.